Hello! Welcome to the Flute 360 podcast, where we incorporate a panoramic view of flute-related topics. I am your host, Heidi K. McGill, and this is episode 99, Building Your CV Through International Experiences with Demarre McGill. Today's sponsor is brought to you by J&K Productions. Did you know that not only are they a production company for podcasts, but they are a recording company for musicians? Any musical recording needs that you may have, J&K Productions can fulfill that need. They have all the necessary equipment and expertise to record your next flute recording for college or graduate auditions, competitions, summer festivals, or a flute album. J&K Productions can record any setup imaginable, from solo flute, small chamber, flute and piano, and much more. Consider J&K Productions for your next recording project. Contact them at jkproductions.media. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Flute 360 podcast episode. Today, my wonderful guest is Demarre McGill. Demarre is the principal flutist of the Seattle Symphony and associate professor of flute at Cincinnati College Conservatory of Music. Welcome, Demarre.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, for sure. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, looking forward to chatting with you.
Yeah. So how were your holidays? You mentioned you went to South Africa.
Yes, I was on vacation in South Africa for about 12 days, which was absolutely amazing. I was with family and outside of Dallas before that. And before that, still with family, but performing with my brother in New York to kick off the holiday season. It was eventful, for sure.
That's great. So how do you celebrate the holiday season? Is there a lot of gift giving or?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there is a lot, but we exchange gifts. You know, it's really important for us, my family to just spend time. We're not all together too often. Fortunately, I see my brother more and more because we're playing more together. But when we're together with our parents, it's unfortunately a rare occasion. So we need to make the most of it during the holidays. That's really what makes it special for me, just the time with family.
Great. So since you have such an amazing international career, I thought you would be a perfect guest for this topic. And I would love to pick your brain about how we as flutists can build our CV or resume through international experiences. Mm-hmm. But before we get into that, would you like to share with the listeners a little bit about your musical background, if you so wish?
Sure. Well, prior to my professional existence, I did my undergraduate work at the Curtis Institute of Music in Philadelphia with Julius Baker and Jeffrey Kaner, and then continued my studies with Julius Baker at Juilliard. And after that, my first professional position was principal flute with the Florida Orchestra, and then I spent some time with the San Diego Symphony. Was principal with Santa Fe Opera, acting principal with the Pittsburgh Symphony, served as principal flute for the first time with the Seattle Symphony before going to Dallas as principal flute to the Dallas Symphony for a few seasons, and left that to do a 1-year contract with the Metropolitan Opera before re-auditioning for my prior position with the Seattle Symphony as principal. So, in a nutshell, that's the stuff that I guess is easily found on Google. So, but that kind of, sums up my orchestral path. I've always taught, but I've been over the past 2.5 years, teaching in Cincinnati at the College Conservatory of Music in Cincinnati, and absolutely loving that, and working with my studio. And I do a bunch of extracurricular musical activities, I guess you could say, playing chamber music, solo recitals, concerti, just trying to do as many beautiful, wonderful things as I can as a musician, basically.
No, I love it. And we were talking a little bit before we hit record, and I remember hearing you in Dallas play the Mozart Concerto. I can't remember if it was G or D, but like I was telling you, I just fell in love with your sound and your playing, and you keep busy for sure.
Well, I'm definitely grateful for every second I spend doing what I love. You know, I don't take it for granted.
Every YouTube interview I've seen of yours, or, you know, just your public appearances, I get a great sense of how humble you are. And I think that's a wonderful trait to have as a musician.
Well, or as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember clearly not having the opportunities that I have now. I can feel it still in my bones, wanting to have the life that I have. So there's really, there's no time for me to be ungrateful for dreams coming true. There's no, yeah.
Oh, I love that. All right. So if you'd like, we can dive into some questions.
Sounds good.
Cool. So why do you think it's important for a flutist to consider adding international experiences to their resume or CV?
Well, I should first say that, it's easier said than done, first of all. But first of all, the more international experiences you have, or experiences in general, local or international, the more experiences you have, the more opportunities you have to grow, the more people you meet that may help you, be able to help you in the future, or you may be able to help in the future. It's important for that reason alone, just for the people that you meet and the experiences that you have. Both things are necessary ingredients to growth and progress. So just for those reasons alone, I think it's helpful to have as much experience and if possible international experience as possible. And in regards to why is it important for your CV, if I am looking at your accomplishments on a sheet of paper and I see that you've played here, you played there, you've taught here and you've taught there, that's going to pique my interest. I'm going to be curious. If I haven't heard about you, I'll be curious as to why other people have shown interest in you. So all of these things, like I said, are easier said than done, but you increase the likelihood of accomplishing these things, like having international experience, by simply wanting to have that. Then you increase the likelihood of actually manifesting that.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. That's amazing. And the reason, I guess, to be fair to this series and the listeners, for anyone who's listening and thinking, why this specific topic? In the season in my life right now, I am abroad, and I decided to come to Greece and Romania and Bulgaria to make connections and to do some playing and teaching. And in these very short 4 months, I hold no light to somebody who's been doing it as long as you. But in these very short 4 months, I have learned so much, even outside of music, just culture and people and language. And I've grown so much as a musician. And I thought, this is really amazing. And if, like you said, it's always easier said than done. But if you have the opportunity, grab it, because you can grow so quickly in whatever goal you're aspiring to accomplish.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. Another advantage of actually putting yourself in a variety of environments, domestic or international, is that if you are automatically provided the context for your playing, for yourself as a person, you're able to be more, I believe you're forced to be more aware of how you are. For instance, how you play when you hear a different way of playing. And all of these things are tools that I use to progress and to grow. I want to hear people doing things differently, or hear people do things better than I'm doing them. Because that is, you surround yourself with good people, or even just simply different people, you increase the likelihood of improving your skill set.
Yes. That's what I feel like in these short 4 months, just being exposed to the Greek, Bulgarian, and Romanian flutists. I'm like, whoa. And I'm blown away by how they approach a piece and how they describe certain musical aspects. Like, I found that a lot of international musicians, not just flutists, but like cellists and pianists that I've encountered in these 4 short months, they describe music in such a descriptive way. And I don't know if it's like the translation going from their native language to English, but it's really exciting and for me, extremely inspiring.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, cool. It's not always easy, right? Getting these international experiences because, I mean, just the logistics, people and traveling and venues and the like. So where can one start? How can we add these international recitals or master classes to our CV?
Well, one place to start, especially if you're younger, is to, apply to any number of festivals. It's a real, I would say, yeah. I mean, for most people that I know, definitely myself included, my first encounter with like-minded people from around the world was at a music festival. And I should also add that there's a lot of people that I met when I was younger at music festivals that I work with currently who have hired me in my current existence and who I've hired or commissioned to write a work for me. People that I met when I was younger from all over the world at various music festivals. So that's an easy place to start. I'm also a believer in the rule of always being a good colleague and always playing well. These two things are so important when you're up and coming. So important, really, because the people that you're playing for now, just literally the people that you're playing for today, have the potential to help you in the future. A lot of the work that I do outside of orchestra, for sure, comes from the fact that I played well one day in college. There's an amazing chamber music festival I do. It's run by a very, very established, amazing violin soloist. And he told me once that he was drawn to my playing from hearing me play Bartok's Concerto for Orchestra when we were in school together, when he was sitting in the orchestra. And so, fast forward X number of years, and, he is providing amazing musical experiences and income for me. So if you want to accomplish any goal, even aside from wanting to have more international experience, start by being a good colleague and playing well and doing both of those things all of the time now, today. That is really the first step. If you do that, as I first mentioned, at a music festival, that is the first step to, I believe, possibly opening doors for you outside of, the country that you're living in. Now, that's the first step. I would say, actually, if you just did that, and that's almost enough. That doesn't guarantee that you're going to have concerts in Japan, for instance. But if you think of it if you think of your life as, the matching game where you're turning over cards and you're trying to match, the chair with the chair or the apple with the apple, you're trying to find the matching cards. That's how, in a way, I've thought about my professional life, is that if each card represents a day of beautiful playing in front of people, in front of your colleagues, or, anyone, then eventually you're going to, if you do that all the time, the same person is going to hear you play well twice. And if a person hears you play well and talks to you and connects with you twice, really, chances are great that they will want to help you. That could simply mean that they will want to work with you. They will want to play with you. So, yeah, I would say if there's a secret, that's it right there. You'll find yourself eventually, with time, patience, and consistency, you will find these opportunities opening up everywhere eventually.
I love it. Matching the apple to the apple, the chair to the chair. That's a great visualization.
Yeah, you need to be consistent about that, about being a good colleague and playing well. And having patience. I mean, I hate to even talk about patience because there's so much satisfaction in being a good colleague and playing well that other than for, some real life reasons like needing to eat, needing to make money to eat, there shouldn't be that much anxiety in trying to gain international experience, increase your international patient when you're just focused on the things that make what we do as musicians truly, truly special. I just think that if you're focused on that while being aware of doing things necessary to eat, so to speak, luck has a way of finding you. It may not be exactly what you were looking for, but if your eyes are open, luck has a way of actually carving out a path for you.
I love it. Such great advice for students and professionals alike. And what I hear is what you're saying is that opportunity is there if you're willing to open up your eyes and be aware of those opportunities that may be around you and to grab it.
Yes, that is true. It's amazing how often we limit ourselves. It's really amazing. If you have the energy for it and the experience is not, and the environment is not a negative one, then try to place yourself in that environment. Try to play for this person. Really, I mean, it's just, I owe a lot of what I do currently to me following those rules for so many years.
And being consistent with it, like you said earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Consistency is crucial.
That's amazing. Another reason why this topic in my life has come up and I'm wanting to pick other professionals' brains is because alongside of some people and opportunities that I've seen come up, the other thing, and it's funny how worlds collide. So when I finished my studying as a student and applying to jobs, specifically collegiate teaching jobs, the first line in most of these announcements will state international experience required. So why do you think search committees are looking for this particular qualification?
Well, for schools, any institution that is looking to hire someone wants ideally someone who could actually attract students.
Okay.
And that's, I believe, an important reason why they're searching for someone with some international experience. But I also think that a lot of institutions are interested in people that are interested in things outside of their little bubble. Because I believe that, at least I feel that my curiosity as a teacher, my curiosity as it relates to my, finding things that will help me on my personal journey, my curiosity about, hearing other people, meeting other people, learning from everyone greatly helps me as a teacher. Because I try to instill that in my students. And if it has been a tool that has led me to the life that I have now, or as a tool that has allowed me to be, over the years, a better and better problem solver for myself as a flutist, and as I'm carving out my career path, these are all tools that I want to pass on to my students. And I believe that, just for instance, if you're applying for a position and you don't have a major career outside of the country, the people who are conducting the interview can still sense that you have the energy and the curiosity that is at the essence of, I believe, of a person who has found a way to do things outside of their bubble. Sure. So I think it boils down not simply to the fact that, that this person played some concerts in Germany.
Okay.
But I believe it's a personality type that lends itself to being a very effective teacher.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And I had Susanna Self as a teacher for only one semester in Texas, but she played with the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra years ago. And in a conversation, she said her views on what it means to be a teacher and a student, and the word curiosity came up a lot in that conversation. And she said, what I think makes a really good teacher, for their students, and then students coming into a lesson with their teacher, is that curiosity is there. Like, how can we be a problem solver? How can we make this more exciting, or et cetera, et cetera? I mean, I could go on, but the word curious came up, and I just wanted to pull that from your answer and just make that connection for the listeners. Yeah.
It's a very important trait to have, just being curious. Yeah, I would say that has kept me fresh. I feel just as eager, just as curious about the things that I don't know, and even the things that I think that I know, as when I was a student. I just, you're never good enough. There's always lots of room to grow.
I love that. And I was even noticing, like, with some of the students that I saw yesterday, one of them just got braces and said, "Oh my gosh, my tone is gone." I'm like, no, this is an opportunity for you to grow and to be curious and to explore. And I told them, I said, I'm 34 and I'm finishing up Invisalign from this past year to 2 years of, work on my teeth. And I had to feel like, a year ago when I started this process, like, I have to feel like a beginner again, in that sense of curiosity and wonderment of, how can I make this sound that much better? I am working with these, plastic trays in my mouth. What can I do? And so the 16-year-old girl thought it was the end of the world, that she had metal braces. But I'm like, no, this is an opportunity for you to grow and to be curious. And who knows, you can probably be a better flutist because you had to explore and dive into this realm. Yeah, no, I love it.
Definitely.
So throughout your international career, what are some lessons that you've learned along the way?
Well, I would say there were some lessons that I've learned along the way I definitely have been made aware of things that I want to do better. Once again, this has to do with just along my journey. I've gotten a chance to hear a lot of people, a lot of professionals. I've had a lot of opportunities to work with a lot of students. And as a believer in the fact that you can learn from everyone, I would say, selfishly speaking, I always learn what I want and need to work on. I've also learned that it doesn't matter if you're a kid who grew up from, Chicago, you grew up on the south side of Chicago, or if you grew up in Vienna. The idea of expressing yourself through an instrument is universal. There's different ways of playing, there's different approaches to the instrument, but I believe that everyone is capable of saying something through the instrument that could be understood by a person who's from a completely different universe than you. So I've definitely learned that, and Perhaps there's people that will disagree. You have to be from this tradition in order to be good. But I highly disagree with that. Because there's people, and I've learned that from, being inspired by people from everywhere. I've also learned that from hearing people that sounded completely uninspired from the music capitals of the world, and as someone from a community that is not known for its classical music, the South Side of Chicago, that's the one thing I've learned from traveling everywhere, is that a voice is a voice, and through your instrument, that voice could be understood and felt by people who believe that you are foreign to them, So I just absolutely love that. I think that's the power of music, is the power of art. It really does transcend us, and I've learned that from traveling, from my travels. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I have goosebumps. I love that. And that is the power of music. It's bigger than us. It transcends past culture and languages, and it speaks to the soul. And no matter if you speak English or Swahili or Mandarin, it doesn't matter. We all speak this universal language of music, and that is something to definitely celebrate.
I absolutely agree. It's beautiful.
Amazing. So do you have any last pieces of advice? It doesn't even have to necessarily be under this umbrella of international career, anything that's on your heart.
Well, I don't know if I would call this advice, but I will say that we should recognize how fortunate we are to be able to make music. We spend so much time, typically from an early age, trying to learn the craft of, playing our instrument. And from an early age, once we're able to do a particular thing on our instruments, we feel joy. We're excited about that. And maybe because we can do this particular thing in our instruments, we may even win a prize. And maybe once we can do those things even a little faster, we can get into a good music school. And it's even possible that you could even find a job because you've gotten better and better and better over the years at the craft of playing your instrument. It is so easy to forget early on that we play music that moves people, that makes people feel, that can brighten someone's day, that can actually save their lives. So, I would say that just to try to tap into that part of you. I've just noticed that there can be a very distinct separation between what we do, your flutists, as instrumentalists, the separation between that and our own view of even what music is and how music makes us feel. I think it was just, it brings, at least for me, it's brought so much satisfaction over the years to hear what I do and hear what I play as music, to basically say that it can be sad, it can be joyful, it can be nostalgic, it can be, any shade of emotion, that to use, our gift of playing an instrument well to be poetic. I think it has been something that I carry with me always. And that is the one thing that has benefited me. For instance, in orchestra, I've been playing in orchestra for quite a while now, and I've repeated a lot of pieces. I don't get tired of anything. It's all really just, it's an honor to do what we do, especially if we do it poetically. I'll just say that much.
No, I love it. And I tell my listeners, and I tell my family and friends all the time that after each talk with, my special guests, I feel like I have read 5 to 10 books within that hour. And, and this is a perfect example of that comment. It's mind blowing to me to, I don't know, just to get into your head and to see your world and see how you view not just music, but, how you hold yourself and your thoughts. And I thank you for sharing and being so open with your thoughts. And we get to learn from each other, and I just love it.
Yeah, it's definitely been my pleasure.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. So I do a portion called Pics. And I don't know if you were able to have some time to think about this, but Pics can be anything you want to share. A favorite book, movie, musical. It doesn't matter. Any pick that you'd want to share with the listeners.
Wow. Yes, I've been thinking about this, and I don't know why this is so tough for me. Really, because, I'm the type of person where I love so many things, seriously, that it's hard. But okay, actually, I just thought of something now. I had initially considered sharing these amazing noise canceling headphones I just bought that I'm in love with, but that is really not important. My pick would be, this is something to listen to that oh my goodness, I just absolutely love. Puccini's Manon Lescaut. If you haven't heard it, you don't have to, operas are long. You don't have to listen to it all at once. But especially if you're unfamiliar with opera, I would listen to Puccini's Manon Lescaut. Just paying attention as you listen to it, how absolutely joyful the beginning of the opera is. It's just pure joy. And by the time you get to the end, I want you to, I don't think you can help but realize how far you've traveled from that concentrated joy at the beginning. It's just, boy, that's just the power of music right there, that journey. So, yeah, Manon Lescaut.
Oh, I love it. What an amazing pick.
What's your pick?
Oh, thanks for asking. Like you, I love a lot of different things, whether it's food or books or movies. It's hard for me to choose. But luckily for me, doing a pick every week, I have to start actually getting creative and saying, okay, what am I using? Because I have to choose a lot of picks. So luckily for me, these last 3 weeks being in Sofia, Bulgaria, I've had the pleasure of experiencing their Garash cake.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
It's really delicious. Actually, it's flourless.
Okay.
And it's layers of chocolate that I think it's more of, I can't think of the word, but it's chocolate and it alternates with walnuts. And,
oh my goodness, I want this.
Yeah. Right? I've been having a slice a night, and thankfully in the European culture, people walk everywhere. So I've gotten my exercise in every day. So I haven't seen the effects of eating a slice a night, but it's topped with pistachios. And
okay, this gets better and better.
Right? You just can't go wrong. But it's amazing. It's very delicious, and I can't wait to go home to the States and give it a try and whip up a cake myself. So,
wow, if it ships well, I'll make sure you get my address.
Definitely. I would love to send you some.
Sounds good.
Oh, shoot. So, Demarre, thank you so much for your time, talent, and expertise. And I so wish that you have many safe travels to South Carolina and have fun at the Charleston Southern University's Flute Festival on January 26th.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Great. Thank you again. And I hope that we get to actually meet in person someday. I should have said this beforehand, but this episode and getting to officially talk to you has come full circle for me because I'm originally from Chicago as well.
Is that right? I see.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I do look forward to meeting you in person at some point.
That'd be wonderful.
Okay. Well, great chatting with you.
Same here.
Okay. All right. Take care.
Bye-bye. Today's sponsor is brought to you by J&K Productions. Did you know that not only are they a production company for podcasts, but they are a recording company for musicians? Any musical recording needs that you may have, J&K Productions can fulfill that need. They have all the necessary equipment and expertise to record your next flute recording for college or graduate auditions, competitions, summer festivals, or a flute album. J&K Productions can record any setup imaginable, from solo flute, small chamber, flute and piano, and much more. Consider J&K Productions for your next recording project. Contact them at jkproductions.media. Thank you for listening to the Flute 360 podcast. For more information, please visit heidikbegay.com. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please rate and review in the iTunes store. Let's talk about flute.